Today I'm going to demonstrate how to create your own activity in the Seesaw app. From your home page, you're going to open the library, and then you're going to navigate specifically to My Library. When you open your library, at the very top, you should see this plus sign that says Create Activity or Assessment. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus sign. And you're going to give the activity a name. So I'm going to call this Practice Activity. And then you have to decide what sort of format your activity is going to be in. Creative Canvas is they're going to use one of the tools in Seesaw, such as the text tool, the camera tool, the video tool, the microphone, the drawing. So that would be the typical activity that we're used to seeing in the Seesaw app. I can use some of Seesaw's new assessment templates, which allows me to generate questions, either multiple choice, true, false, or survey questions, and then attach the correct answers to the assignment, and it will auto grade it for me. I can upload a resource and use that as a background of my activity. So for example, if I have a Google slideshow or a PDF, I can upload that. And then I could continue to add on top of that. So say I had the slideshow, but then I wanted to add movable objects. I could add those on top of the static Google slide image. To link a resource, I'm just adding a link to a resource outside of the Seesaw app. And then a note would be simply a text answer. I wouldn't be able to add any other features like the drawing tools or the microphone tool. So for this practice activity, I'm going to just do a generic creative canvas. And from there, I can design it however I like. I can add any of Seesaw's backgrounds. So I'm going to add some lined paper. If I want to add a text box and put directions directly on the page, I can do that. And then resize, recolor as needed. I would suggest anything you put into the template, you lock down either by size, which means students can't delete it, they can't shrink it, they can't grow it, but they can still move it around. So say if you're doing a drag and drop activity, they can still move. Or if you don't want the students moving it around, then you would just say lock all. And now your directions are there. The students can't delete them, they can't move them. You can also add Seesaw's new assessment tools once you've started your template. So I started my template and then I think, oh, I really would like a multiple choice question in here. I can still do that. So I come to this check mark here and I click questions. And again, I can add a multiple choice question, a true, false, or a poll. And I can put that in two separate formats. I can do the traditional radio buttons, or I can do a drag and drop with either text or pictures. So if I have non-readers, I can have them choose by dropping in the correct picture. And I can also use Seesaw's new AI assistant to generate questions for me. So if I can't quite think of the question, I can have Seesaw do it instead. And again, if I wanted to do picture options, I could upload the pictures and they could become part of my response instead of just the traditional text responses. In that assessment template, again, if I wanted to have Seesaw's AI capabilities write the whole quiz for me, I could do that with Seesaw's assistant. I could just give them a topic and they're going to pull up a series of questions for me that I can then sort through, add, delete as I want. I also have this frames option, which uses the traditional Seesaw tools like the typing tool or the microphone tool, But it also gives the student a visual cue letting them know that they have to use that particular tool on this page. So, for example, I have write your name with the pen tool, but then if I also wanted them to read their name, instead of just saying turn on the microphone tool, I could put in the record frame. Say I'm going to put it up here in the corner so it's not in the way of their handwriting. And this kind of gives the student a visual cue of, oh, don't forget to make a recording as well. And once you save the activity, these lock down automatically. I don't have to go in and lock it down manually. And I could even add additional tools if I wanted to. If I wanted to say record and label, now I've got the visual cue for both. So that's just an additional tool that helps students keep track of the tasks that they're supposed to be doing on each page. Once I finish that page, I can add additional pages if needed. And then once I am done with my entire template, I click the green check mark to save it. And then I can type instructions, add audio instructions if needed. I can upload an example. If I don't upload an example, then it will just use the first page of my template as the example. I can add teacher notes that are visible to instructors but not students. And I can add my skills at this point as well. Once I've added everything I need, I click save, and it's there in my library, ready to go, ready to assign. If I need to make changes, I just go to the three dots, edit the activity, save it again, assign as needed. So this was a quick overview of how to make your own activity in Seesaw. I hope you found it helpful and are able to create activities that are tailored to your needs.